Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, and today I'm so excited to be doing a review of Pat McGrath's Divine Rose 1 in the limited edition pink packaging. So I am late to the game with this particular eyeshadow palette. I was not able to get this palette the first few times that it came out and launched, but when Pat released her Divine Rose 2, I was able to get both of them as a duo, and I'm really excited to have this palette. I have already reviewed the Divine Rose 1 palette, and I will go ahead and link it in the cards for you right here if you would like to go and see it. Stay tuned because I will be comparing both of these eyeshadows together and doing various looks with them, just so that you can see how they both look, how they compare, and all that good stuff. But today we're gonna focus on this beauty right here. So these are the two eye looks that I have created in this video, and these are the two eye looks that you will be seeing, and I will be showing you how I create them, and of course I will be sharing my final thoughts on this palette, so stay tuned. But before we get into this video, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. If this is your first time here, I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe to my channel and join the Glam Girl squad. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so very much. Thank you for deciding to come back, to like my video, to comment on it. It really does mean a lot to me, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So let's get into this video. So like we probably have all seen, here is Divine Rose 1, and I think this palette is extremely beautiful, and I would dare to say this is probably one of Pat's most wearable, maybe most neutral, cool toned eyeshadow palette. Well, I would say most neutral, because I do know that there is a more cooler toned eyeshadow palette. But I would say this is her probably most neutral to cool toned eyeshadow palette. When I saw it, I was like, that one's pretty. I definitely want to get it. Took me a little while to get it, but I'm here, and that's all that matters. So let's go over some quick details, because this palette is not new, but I definitely just want to, share my details, because that's what I like to do. So this palette does retail for $125. It is sold at Sephora and at Pat McGrath's website. And it is an iconic palette with 10 cult classic shadows that embellish the eyes with single swipe saturation. And if you've never tried a Pat palette, especially these special shades right here, you are missing out. Her shadows are one of the very few shadows that I can consistently count on one swipe, full pigment. So in this palette, there are 4 repeat shades. So we have Skin Show Nude. This is in Sublime. This is in Mothership 1 palette. Then we have Rose Dusk. This is in Mothership 2. We have Astral Solstice. This is in Mothership 6, Midnight Sun. And then this shade right here, which is Iridescent Pink 003. This is actually a highlighter in her highlight trio. So there are 4 repeat shades. For me, I actually don't have Mothership 1, I don't have Mothership 2, and I don't have the highlighting trio. I do plan on getting them, so I will eventually have the repetitive shades. But for me, I don't mind it. This shade, Astral Solstice, is by far my favorite shade in Midnight Sun. So when I found out I was in this palette, I was like, great, I can just have more of it because it's such a gorgeous shade. But if you didn't know that, I wanted to make sure and point that out for you. So yes, let's get into the demonstration and create these two eye looks. Okay, so eyes are prepped with the ABH primer, and let's dive in. So let's first go in with Velouria, and we're going to blend that into the crease with a Blender Pro by Sonia G. Then I want to go in with Rose Dusk right here with my Sonia G Worker Pro brush, and just start blending that across the middle of my eye. I really want to keep this eye look cooler, even though the tone of the palette is more cool, but I want to try to keep this eye look pretty cool. And then of course just blending that in here. Now going in with the Rephr 13 brush, going in with Extreme Mahogany, and we're going to start concentrating this on the outer edge of the eye. And I'm using a smaller brush because I really want to keep this shade underneath my crease, and it's much easier for me to do that with a smaller brush like this Rephr 13 brush. And as you can see, I'm bringing it in toward the lower portion of the middle of the eye. Now I think I want to go in with Lovelace right here, because like I said, I want to keep the look cooler, and I feel like, yes, this is a very gorgeous shade that's going to pull a little more cooler than warmer. This is so pretty. Then I'm gonna go in with Astral Solstice and taking my ring finger, and I just want to apply that over the center of my eyelid. I love this shade. This is probably my favorite shade in the Midnight Sun palette, Mothership VI. So when I found out it was in this palette, I was actually kind of happy about that because I love this shade so much. I mean, look at that shimmer. Oh, just does not get any better. Now let's go in with Sable Bronze with the Sonia G Pencil Pro brush. And I want to run that along the lower lash line. Granted, this is not necessarily a cool toned brown. Obviously it's bronze, but I don't feel like it's so warm that it can't pair well with this. I like that. Now we're gonna go in with Iridescent Pink 003, and I want to, going to pop that in the inner corner. Oh, this is pretty. I love shades like this that look white, but then they have like that pink iridescent shift to it. So pretty. Let's go in with Skin Show Nude, which is right here. And I'm gonna add that to my brow bone for a little bit of a highlight. Ooh, okay, that's a little more intense than I wanted, but it is okay. And I think I want to go back in with Extreme Mahogany and just smoke out just the outer edge of the eye. Yeah, like that. Just to kind of unify the upper lash line and the lower lash line. And then going back in with my Blender Pro brush and just blending out the edge. One eye down, one to go. So now for the second look, let's go in with VR Rose Venus. And this is a Wayne 26S brush. Ooh, this looks so pretty. And I'm just gonna pop that here. And I think I'm gonna go in with my finger because I know this is gonna show up much better being applied with my finger. Oh yeah, oh, much better. Let's go in with Refined Gold here. So this eye look, definitely wanting to do more of a warmer toned look. Because even though this palette does pull more cool, more neutral, I do feel that it is not completely cool tone, which I like. I like a good neutral palette, but I still like for there to be some type of warmth so that, you know, if I want to do a warm tone look or more neutral type look, I don't have to reach for another palette. Let's go in with Rose Dusk here, my Worker Pro brush, and we're gonna just stamp that into the crease. And even though this is a shimmer shade, it blends so well into the eye. So I feel like it almost acts like a matte versus a shimmer. Going in with my Sonia G Crease Pro brush, and I'm gonna take that, blend it into the crease, and then wing it out. Taking my finger again and going into VR Rose, just wanting to intensify this lid shade because I feel like it was dulled down a bit from Rose Dusk. Let's go back in with Refined Gold 002. And I want to add this to the inner corner of my eye, this space right here that I don't have any shadow. Lower lash line, let's go back in with Rose Dusk and just continue it from that outer edge along the entire length of the lower lash line. Going back in with Sable Bronze, which is right here. Adding that to the outer edge of the eye, because I think we could use some of the depth from this shade. Let's go back in with Refined Gold 002, and for the inner corner, we're just going to add a bit here and wrap it around to the lower lash line. All right, I'm going to finish off this eye look in terms of lashes and liner and come back to share with you my final thoughts on this. Okay guys, so this is the finished look and I am really happy with both of these eye looks. I took a little bit of the eyeshadows and used them as highlights. So on this side of my face, I took VR Rose Venus and I put it along here as a highlight. So can you see that? Very pretty. And then on this side of my face, I took Iridescent Pink 003 and I put it on this side of my cheek. So hopefully you can see that shift. I did spray my face with some setting spray so that these shadows can mesh into the skin and look more like a highlight. But you guys, I really do enjoy both of my eye looks. I do have a favorite and I really enjoy this eye look a lot. I think this eyeshadow palette is definitely one that leans more cool, more neutral, but like I mentioned within my tutorial, I really like that I can get a more warm looking eye if that's what I want. I also like with this eye that I basically used all shimmers, and I typically don't use all shimmers when I am creating an eye look. I like to go in with a matte, especially for my transition and outer corner of my eye. But I love that Pat's shadows are so smooth that they're quite versatile, meaning that you can blend them into the crease and they look smooth and not look, you know, gritty and stark and like, why do you have a whole eye just full of shimmer and glitter? I think both eye looks came out really well, and I do enjoy this palette. Now, is this my favorite? It is not my favorite. It is not, but I do think this is a very pretty eyeshadow palette. Very happy to have it, especially in this limited edition packaging. I think when I do reach for this palette, it will be to create more cooler toned looks because I am so here for this eye look. This one is gorgeous, but I would love to add like a nice dark matte brown to this eye to really kind of pull it together, smoke it out, because that's just what I like. But I really do enjoy this palette. So let me know your thoughts on this palette. Is this one of your favorite palettes? Because I remember this palette kept selling out. Every time it came in stock, it would sell out so quickly. So I know a lot of people do enjoy this palette. So how does this palette rank in your favorites in terms of Pat McGrath shadows or just your palettes that you have in general? I'd really love to hear your feedback. Let me know your thoughts on these eye looks that I created. And let me know if you'd like to see me do more eye looks with this palette. Stay tuned because I am going to be comparing Divine Rose 1 to Divine Rose 2. That video is coming, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.